I told you that there was a place that had upwards of 600 trucks, trailer trucks, going in and out of an underground storage facility daily? 3.5 million square feet of storage for mostly food. At least 75% food storage underground, 3.5 miles of road. Do you guys know how much food is being brought down there? All at the same time, Biden told us to expect food shortages.
And we both talked about how we could increase and disseminate more rapidly food shortages. In addition to that,
is it just a coincidence?
So I'm John Griesmer, President and CEO of Erlen Group of Companies, which includes Springfield Underground and Umlaut Industrial. So we're in Springfield, Missouri. We're right on the intersection of Interstate 44 and Highway 65. The facility was started in 1946 by my grandfather. Springfield Underground is a mixed-use industrial complex, happens to be in a former underground mine. We've got about 3 million square feet total space, and that is leasable footage used by our clients. Majority of our space here is used by food companies, and about 60% of it's refrigerated.
I came across this video of a truck driver delivering craft food into an underground cave storage facility. That is huge. 3.5 million square feet of storage space underground, and it's deep. And the interesting thing is that this truck driver came across as a little bit suspicious. He was a little bit shocked. Didn't know that this place existed, but it in fact does, and I researched it. But let's see what this truck driver had to say about this.
Just a quick update. It's Saturday, I believe, and here's the truck I've been driving for the last few days for Wilson Logistics. This trailer just was assigned to us from Kraft over at the Kraft Foods plant, and we're delivering it here to what's called the Springfield Underground.
What's WROL? It means without the rule of law, anarchy, the end of civilization, coming soon to an America near you.
America can't collapse. We're as powerful as ancient Rome.
Take a look at this.
Yo, so this episode got me super curious. You know the one where Homer was hanging out with these conspiracy theorists?
Things go south, the sheeple will clean out every supermarket in town.
Typical sheeple.
And the preppers would keep all their things in storage, preparing for a food shortage. Which got me thinking, what if there was a food shortage? What if America could collapse? I don't know.
Homer, we all know America's collapse is about 3 months away.
6 weeks at most.
There's always one alarmist. Anyway, when the Four Horsemen ride, we want you and your collaterals right here with us.
Homer took that information and became a total nightmare. He had no intentions to scare, but he would warn his family they should pray, but also they should prepare.
It's reassuring to see you're aware of the future, but this is all a little creepy.
Creepy? Marge, the apocalypse is coming. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe never, but it's coming, and soon.
But anyway, Homer was knee-deep in the rabbit hole. He started hanging more and more with his conspiracy friend. He was like a sponge. He would soak up any information he offered.
What would you do in the case of an EMP?
Electromagnetic pulse.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
Electromagnetic pulse.
A burst of radiation that knocks out every electrical system in the country.
And that is, as you can see behind me, this giant cave that's big enough to house hundreds of these trucks and trailers. There's a train track running through here. Just to give you an idea, back here, there's a regular sized truck. See how tall that is up there? It's just incredible.
I'm sure there's some of you out there that knew about this place, but for the majority of us, I don't think we knew about this place. So I watched a video of a high-ranking guy taking this news agency around in this underground facility. And what he said is this place is so big, they have upwards of 500 employees. And he said that they have 500 to 600 trailer trucks come through there daily. I mean, look, is this not crazy? I mean, I've never seen anything like it, and it's gargantuous. He also said in this facility that it's primarily food. Like you saw in that video with that truck driver, Kraft Food is contracting out this other truck business to take food down there. And this is not ran all by one company. All of this space down there is leased. It's leased to whoever buys it, probably to the highest bidder in some cases. Now it gets really interesting here in a minute, but he also says that they're expanding another 1 million square feet. They've already got 3.5 miles of road system down there. Some of you might be asking, well, where in the heck is this? It's called Springfield Underground.
Anyway, when the Four Horsemen ride, we want you and your collaterals right here with us.
Homer took that information.
And I believe it's located in Missouri. And the guy also said that they have another location on the west side that they're developing that I don't think too many people know about, even the people that know about this one. So not only do they got 500 to 600 trailer trucks coming through here a day, they've also got BNSF coming through with trains. They've got railroad tracks coming through the underground. I mean, look, they've got huge railroad track systems that come through here and deliver huge boxcars of probably food. The main guy also mentioned that they have a huge area down there that has a huge stockpile of PPE, personal protective equipment, in case of a catastrophe and emergency. Now, I know a lot of you people are shocked about this. Like, I had no idea that this place existed. And the crazy thing is it's so deep down into the ground. Look how deep it is. I mean, that is considered underground. So with that, there's a lot of people out there that are suspicious about everything that goes on down there because it's a restricted area, gates and everything. One person mentioned that there's a lot of cover-up companies that are ran by the GOV that lease a ton of space and are stockpiling tons of food down there. Stockpiling food during food shortages or expected food shortages, maybe even causing or justifying some of the food shortages. Now, I don't know if these suspicions are accurate, but having 3.5 miles of storage down there does seem a little suspicious. And given the feeling that that truck driver had going down there with a big company like Kraft contracting out private trucks to bring tons of food down there, now it might be completely normal, but like I said, there's tons of suspicion on who exactly is leasing a lot of this space. And the president did say that they had a long conversation about increasing and disseminating more rapidly food shortages. Very ironic that that would be caused, right? And that's the buzz right now. Tucker did a thing last night. Check out what he had to say.
Last spring in March, at a press conference in Brussels, Joe Biden explained that the sanctions he was imposing against Russia, while morally necessary, were also going to cause food shortages around the world, including here in the United States. It's going to be real, he said. Now, Biden said this in a very odd way. There was no hint or panic, emotions you'd expect from a leader predicting the deaths of human beings from starvation. None of that. Instead, there was pure nonchalant casualness. Biden could have been describing the weather or a trip to the dry cleaners. It's going to be real. When he met with the group, Biden said, they spoke about, quote, how we could increase and disseminate more rapidly food shortages. That's what Joe Biden said, verbatim. It's on tape. So here you have the president of the United States pledging to increase food shortages at a press conference. Now, that seemed like a newsworthy event, but not a single news organization in this country seemed to notice it happened, nor did the White House correct it. But others were watching, so within days, that clip wound up on social media, and Facebook flagged it immediately as, quote, false news. Now, strictly speaking, that's untrue. There was nothing false about the video. It was entirely real. No one can test that. But apparently, Facebook users were supposed to understand that Joe Biden is senile, and therefore he's not accountable for his own words. Taking Joe Biden literally qualifies as, quote, misinformation. Now, we'll leave that whole episode for you to assess. We can't know what Joe Biden was thinking, if anything, when he uttered those words in Brussels. We can only tell you what happened afterward. Strange disasters began to beset food processors all over the United States. In April, the next month, the headquarters of one of this country's largest organic food distributors was destroyed in a fire, cause unknown. The next month, in a single week actually, 2 separate private plane crashes took out 2 separate food processing centers. One plane hit a General Mills plant in Georgia. The other plane hit a food plant in Idaho. By the way, back in February, a boiler explosion obliterated a potato processing plant in Oregon, and so on. So even people who aren't given to connecting the dots, who don't think of themselves as conspiracy nuts, begin to wonder, is there something here?
So, but right now we're over our quota. It's regulated by the government and by the DFO. But the problem is what they don't understand. There's millions of people, look at this milk running away, because it's the end of the month. So I have to dump 30,000 liters of milk. It breaks my heart. I will show you. By the way, this here, Canadian milk, it's $7 a liter. When I go for my haircut, people say, wow, $7, Jerry, for a little bit of milk. I say, well, you have to go higher up, because we have no say anymore as a dairy farmer on our own farm, because they make us dump it. And no matter how we stand up, so this time I'm going public. I want the people to see the pain that us growers have of 365 days. As a little boy, we grew up on a dairy farm, came from Europe, work, and here we are. This is what's happening.
So we have to prepare for a more angry world.
You see every day how the world is falling apart with the different crises which we have to manage.
I don't know how it will play out in November, but what we know is that we will end up with many more unemployed, and particularly also people in the grey economy, which are not counted for, who lose their jobs. So we will see definitively a lot of anger already now, but probably increased by the end of the year, because this crisis will be with us until we really have found a remedy. So we have to prepare for a more angry world. And how to prepare? It means to take the necessary action to create a fairer world.
Do you remember the Dutch farmers? And do you remember their courageous protest last summer? Do you remember how they fought for our freedom? Well, I'm sorry to say it, but I have bad news for you. Our farmers are losing, and the Dutch government is winning the fight. They have doubled down on their plans to expropriate 3,000 farms before the year of 2030. They call it expropriation. I call it theft in the name of climate change. And how are they doing this? Well, they're waging a war of attrition against the farmers while simultaneously vilifying them continuously in the media. And that strategy has been proven to be very successful. Whenever I speak to our farmers now, I can tell that they are losing hope. And who could blame them? They've been badgered, intimidated, and vilified. They're afraid to be threatened, arrested, or even shot at again. They are afraid that they have lost the support of the people. The same people they provide with food every single day.
Thanks, Jeff. One of the biggest underground storage facilities in the Midwest is getting even bigger.
And some of the businesses that call it home also expanding inside this giant facility.
In a 41 First Look, news anchor Richard Sharp takes us on a tour inside Subtropolis.
Driving through miles of tunnels, it's easy to get overwhelmed.
The first thing, you don't realize how big it is.
Lost on the scope of Subtropolis.
750,000 square feet.
130,000 square feet. This is the leading facility like this in the world.
So we have to prepare for a more angry world.